Happy Friday, everyone. I hope all is well with you guys on this Friday, October 22nd, 2021. And I'm just here with a week in review of certain things. I'm going to get started. Hello to everyone that comes in. That is all good. I'm just going to get started. So here it is. According to the Johns Hopkins University of Medicine. Hi, Dr. C. Hello, everyone. Once again, that came on. I'm glad that you guys are here. So, global confirmed cases, according to the Johns Hopkins University of Medicine website. Global confirmed cases is over 240,000, 240 million. So 240 million, 46,432. So global confirmed cases is 240,046,432. Global death toll is 4,889,103. U.S. confirmed cases is 44,884,550. U.S. confirmed deaths, the U.S. death toll, is 723,747,000. So those who just came on, hello. I'm going to read the confirmed cases global wise. So globally, we have 240,046,432. Global death toll is 4.8. U.S. confirmed cases 44.8 million, and the U.S. death toll is 723,747. And according to the administered doses in this country, 1.073 million people are vaccinated or have the vaccine doses as of today. So that is a total of 188.3 million people. And that's 57% of the country that is vaccinated. We're still not at the quote-unquote 70% percentile that we should be. But according to the CDC, we should be at 90. I knew that. I knew 70% was a low number, but even though it's an ambitious number, I can't say ambitious number. It's more like a realistic number because unfortunately this country will not get to 90 because people are just stupid. But yeah, over almost 200 million people in this country is vaccinated, and we have about 328.2 million people living in this country. Some people say 350 million, but it's technically 328 million people. So, yep, that is the vaccination status. In terms of the CDC has approved for the Moderna third booster and the second J&J shot. Am I surprised? No, we need a booster. I'm eligible for a booster next month because I was vaccinated in May. So you have to get your in order to get the third booster, the eligibility, you have to be 65 years or older, or if you're young between 18 and 44, if you're immune compromised, then you should get your third booster. I have a compromised immune system, and I've been vaccinated, and you have to be 6 months to get your third. Also, to get your third booster, you have to be vaccinated 6 months for 6 months from your second shot to get the third booster. So whenever your 6 months approach, you should get that third booster. And I won't be surprised, it will be part of required vaccinations to go to school, whether you're going to grade school, private school, even Catholic school, or going to college. I had to be vaccinated going to, grade school, college, and even grad school. I had to get my second measles shot. And that was how many years ago when I enrolled? So that was required. And in terms of the corporate responsibility, in terms of the vaccinations, employers are asking employees to be vaccinated. Now is a requirement. And from what the mayor has, put in place, the mayor of the city, Mayor de Blasio, has asked all companies and all agencies and all city all organizations and all city agencies excuse me, to require them to be vaccinated in order to work in person. So there's no testing every week option anymore. That has been eliminated. Am I surprised? No, I'm not surprised. I mean, I knew this was going to come to it. I knew it was going to be either vaccines that you have to work or you have no job. I knew that was going to happen. But I know some people don't agree with it, and I understand people's positions. They don't agree with it. I get it. I totally get it. But at the end of it all, when you had to go to school, you had to be vaccinated, right? Yeah, you had to. And your kids got to be vaccinated. Not just the COVID vaccine. I'm talking about measles, TB. They had to get their shots in order to. You had to have, you have to be immunized, if I'm saying it right, to be in school. So I'm just going to sum this up for the folks who is quitting their jobs because they don't want to be vaccinated. So this may be offensive, but you can always scroll on by if you don't want to hear it. If I had a family of like 4 or 5, I'm the sole provider of that family. And I am told as a company policy that I had to be vaccinated in order to keep my job, but I refuse and I quit my job. You're putting your family at a standstill. There's a least likely chance that you will get unemployment because you quit your job. Because I know here where I live at, they ask you for why you quit your job, and you have to provide a valid reason. And once you put your claim in, employers get contacted and they can deny you unemployment. Do I think it's right? Not quite. But do I understand the policy? Absolutely. I filled out some stuff and sent it right back to unemployment in terms of for other people that was filing for their unemployment. So, you have to give your reason why you rejected their claim. But I will just say this. For those who want to be foolish and quit their job, you're not only risking your own health, but you're putting your family at risk. At risk because you don't want to get a jab. Let me just say this to you. The vaccine is safe for the last goddamn time. Like, it's been told in so many ways that the vaccine is safe to the point where people have to pay you guys to get vaccinated. I mean, there's employers that's giving bonuses if you get vaccinated. I mean, really? When other countries are waiting in line just to get doses sent to them? Like, this is like the goal of it all. This country is too goddamn privileged for not, I mean, it's too goddamn privileged. It's outrageous. Exactly. Outrageous. But once again, for the folks, that just want to be foolish and quit their jobs and want to say, it's my body, it's my choice, like Kyrie Irving. It's not your choice. It's not your choice to affect others around you. It's not your choice to put your family at risk of not just only getting sick, but losing their home. Not having nothing to eat. It's not fair for those around you. So if you want to be foolish, listening to these holistic doctors, listening to these anti-vaxxers, you're going to find yourself on a ventilator saying, I should have got vaccinated. Or better yet, rethinking your decision that I shouldn't quit my job. I should have just got the shot. So be stupid all you want to. You will F around and find out. That's all I got to say. I mean, the stupidness of it all. There's people in Africa. Africa got a 2% vaccination rate. 2%. 2. 1, 2. And they're waiting for that Pfizer coming through. That J&J, whatever vaccine is not being used, they're waiting for that shipment. Waiting. standing in line, and they probably got to pay for their health care. Who knows? And here, we in a free country. We have access to we can even walk to the damn clinic and get a shot. And y'all don't want to? Really? I mean, the privilege of this goddamn country. Ugh. But to the politics of it all. The Build Back Better agenda. Now, I know there's people that's been falsifying, information about the Build Back Better agenda from the president's office. So I am going to log on to Google. And going to the whitehouse.gov website. So here it is. The Build Back Better agenda is an ambitious plan to create jobs, cut taxes, and lower costs for working families, all paid for by making the tax code fairer and making the wealthy and large corporations pay their fair share. Lower costs of childcare costs, higher education costs, lower prescription drug costs, lower healthcare costs, lower housing costs. So in terms of the prescription costs, Americans pay 2 to 3 times more for their prescription drugs than people in wealthier countries, and nearly 1 in 4 Americans struggle to afford prescription drugs. The president's plan will lower costs of drugs for many Americans by letting Medicare negotiate drug prices, so consumers are no longer at the whim of pharmaceutical companies. Now, in terms of tax cuts for working families with children and workers without children. So workers with children, 1 in 3 of adults with children struggle to pay their usual expenses. The American Rescue Plan increased the child tax credit from $2,000 per child to $3,000 per child, 6 and over, and $3,600 for kids 6 and under. So the Build Back Better agenda will extend the child tax credit expansion in the American Rescue Plan by providing nearly 40 million households. This tax cut is the single largest contributor of the plan without children, with cutting child poverty nearly in half, which that has been done under the American Rescue Plan. And then tax cuts without children. The president's agenda extended the American Rescue Plan's increase of earned income credit from $543 to $1,502. This will benefit roughly 17 million low-wage workers, including cashiers, cooks, delivery drivers, food preparation workers, and child care providers. I know many. And it create job workforce training and through the high-quality career and technical education pathways and register apprenticeships, President Biden's Build Back Better agenda will invest in larger programs, will prepare millions of American workers for high-quality jobs in growing sectors. That involves some of the infrastructure bill, which that is a job creator, clean energy jobs, investment in teachers and schools. So even during the pandemic, our schools face an estimated teacher shortage of 100,000, undermining the education of our children and students of color in particular. President Biden's Build Back Better agenda will address teacher shortage, improve teacher preparation, including through teacher residencies, and grow your own programs that produce better outcomes and develop more teachers of color. It will expand free school meals to an additional 9.3 million children during the school year and help families purchase food during the summer. And the president's plan also invested in upgrading school infrastructure so that we'll be cutting edge, energy efficient, resilient school buildings with technology and labs. And then I'm going to address the lower higher education course, because since people are tweeting misinformation about that, like some folks, that I'm going to drag a few minutes. Education beyond high school and increasingly important to succeed in the 21st century economy, even if it's become unaffordable for too many families. The Build Back Better agenda will provide 2 years of free community college, boosting the earnings of low-wage high school graduates by nearly $6 $100,000 per year. President Biden's plan will also increase maximum Pell Grant awarded by almost 1,500 and invest billions in subsidized tuition for low and middle income students at historical black colleges and universities, tribal colleges and universities, and minority serving institutions. The plan will also invest in evidence-based strategies to strengthen completion and retention rates at institutions that serve higher numbers of low-income students, and particularly community colleges. So I read that for a reason. You can go on the whitehouse.gov website, or you just can Google Build Back Better agenda. So the reason why I'm addressing this, because we have two senators who are opposing, or who are standing in the way of the Build Back Better agenda, and that includes Joseph Manchin III of West Virginia and Kirsten Leah Sinema of Arizona. And the reason why they are opposing this because one wants to eliminate the climate stuff and also the pharmaceutical stuff. And with Miss Sinema is the pharmaceutical stuff. She doesn't want to lower the drug costs. But for every reason, they're appeasing to their donors more than to their constituents, because one has constituents that's older than my mom, and another constituents are poor and the poorest state in the country. But appeasing to, once again, his donors and his children that work in the pharmaceutical companies. So this message is for Joseph Manchin III and Kirsten Leah Sinema. I do not understand your positions. I do not get why you guys are doing this. Just because Trump won one of your states, that doesn't mean your constituents oppose the Build Back Better agenda. It's actually popular. I think it's over a 50 or 60% approval rating from Republicans, and almost damn near a 90% approval from the Democratic Party. So I'm not understanding why you guys are opposing legislation that will actually benefit your constituents more than where I live at in a large urban city. Like I said, I don't get these people. But to Joseph Manchin III of West Virginia and Kirsten Leah Sinema, what you guys are doing is detrimental, not just only to your constituents, but to the country. You guys are standing in the way to moving this country forward. The times that you guys are thinking about is a time where it was not good for people that look like me. And this is more surprising from Kirsten Leah Sinema because you are part of the LGBTQ plus community. Your community will benefit from most of this agenda. You are an embarrassment to your community. But then again, I'm not surprised. You want to cater to your donors and to some of these Karens in the Republican Party for why, I don't know. But also, you are a chaos agent. You are part of the party that, includes Dr. Jill Stein and Ralph Nader's creepy looking ass. So, Senators Manchin and Senator Sinema. Messing up your name. Okay, so once again. To Senators Sinema and Manchin, if you oppose this legislation, get out the way, as Ludacris say. Because what you guys are doing, you are hurting our democracy. You are messing things up for the president and the Democratic Party. So if you don't want to help us, get the fuck out the way. That's all I'm saying. Period. That's all I'm saying. And to the news media. As much as I don't care for Manchin, stop gaslighting us on him leaving the party. You don't know that. You don't know that. Like, I am so sick of the mainstream media just reporting stupid shit just to get clicks and likes. And the American people don't really give a fuck. They want this legislation to pass so their lives can be better. Like, I don't get the whole drama. I don't get the whole chatterbox thing. But it's getting annoying. There's people I follow on Twitter that is doing way better than the mainstream media. And one of them is watching this thing right now. Because she gave a whole sermon today. So I'm going to need for the mainstream media to stop with the nonsense and the clicks and likes and the gossipy stuff and actually report real news that is affecting American citizens today. At this current moment, right now. Because it makes no sense at all. Hi, Enrique. How are you? I know it's been a while. It's been a while. I feel like I'm catching my breath all of a sudden. Yeah, Dr. C, you preached a whole sermon today. And as for the 2022 midterms, so it's another thing that the mainstream media is doing. They doing a disservice to us by saying, if Democrats don't pass this legislation, they're going to lose. Something like, our good old friend, Bob said before he got called out. And the Twitter cavalry came to the rescue for Dr. C. So here's the thing. Democrats have to sell their agenda. That's only it. We just have to talk about what we did so far. Like, we know all this stuff is going to be passed. Whether what Cinema and Manchin does, we're going to get the legislation because we all know the other side is a goddamn joke. They lied about the whole insurrection. They've been lying forever and ever and ever. They voted against a lot of critical legislation, but want to tout it. But people have records and have receipts that you guys voted against this. I mean, what is it? Last week they voted against the Voting Rights Act. All of them, including the good Republicans of the world, the Cheneys and the Kissingers of the world, they voted against Voting Rights Act. So you know where they stand. The grand old party, you know where they stand. The Democratic Party are the party that actually fight for people. Yes, you got some problematic ones in there that want this and want that. But overall, we want this country better for people. And we want money in people's pockets. And we want people to live better in this country. And also, we care about our democracy. And no one is above the law. That is our party. So when you hear doom and gloom folks on TV or on your Twitter or your Instagram or your YouTube, block that shit out. Because at the end of the day, it's about people turning out to vote, their lives being better, and this country dealing with the reckoning of what has been going on for centuries. And it seems like the people that's doing their best, but they can do better, yes, but doing their best is the Democratic Party. So stop listening to the mainstream media. Stop listening to the Bobs of the world. Because obviously, to tell you the truth, they're wrong on everything. Loud and wrong as hell. Now, in this 1-6 commission, Steve Bannon they voted for him to be held in contempt. So it has to go to the Department of Justice office. And that's another thing. The do something Twitter people of the world is coming after, what's his name? Garland, for whatever reason, I don't know. You don't know what Garland is about to do. I don't know what Garland is about to do. But I'm going to need for these doom and gloom people, once again, on Twitter that don't know anything but think they know so much. Stop talking. Just sit there and watch. You don't know what people are going to do. We know that Benny Thompson is on the right side of history. And that's for Rick Wilson. Benny Thompson, Congressman Benny Thompson of Mississippi, is on the right side of history. He don't play that. That is a country man from the South. Them Southern old folks don't play that shit. When they say they're going to hold your ass in contempt, if you don't show up, they're going to hold your ass in contempt. And Steve Bannon thought he was dealing with, his buddies like Jim Jordan and, Matt Gates. No, you're dealing with Benny Thompson, an old school cat. You're dealing with him. And he's not messing around. So, therefore, this man is about to reap about to reap what he sowed. For real, for real. So, I'm going to need for these doom and gloom, do something Twitter folks, who also are on TV, or some that's just tweeting their ass away like Bob, to shut the hell up, sit and watch, and then you can say something. It's just that simple. Just that simple. Like, they get every goddamn thing wrong. Like, it's so sad. They don't know civics. They don't know the basic checks and balances. It's so sad. Now, keep in mind, I got a bachelor's degree in business administration, and I was one class short away from getting a minor in history, because I studied history, and U.S. history was my concentration for my minor. I took U.S. history 1, U.S. history 2. I took those classes. I sure did. I sure did. And I know checks and balances. And you know who put that check on people? The judicial branch, if I'm correct. Because they'll check your ass. It's so sad they're not checking people on this SCOTUS decision to not block the Texas abortion thing because of the conservative majority. And that was another thing. The court is very conservative still, because people did not vote with their common sense. They vote with their feelings. Yes, I'm relitigating 2016 because I felt like people should have voted with their common sense, because they knew Donald Trump was the worst. He's not all that bad, Chantay. He did some good things. No, he didn't. Doing good things is doing better for the country. Like, I'm so sick of him touting that, the lowest black unemployment. No, you inherit that. And then third year of your residency, it was increasing. And then COVID made it worse. So when people keep saying that he lowered on black unemployment, no, he did not. That was President Obama. It was. Good economy, that was President Obama. The First Step Act, that was actually Hakeem Jeffries and I believe Chuck Grassley and Dick Durbin. It's not Donald Trump. Donald Trump just signed it. But it wasn't enforced because a lot of people still was in prison. He did not grant clemency like that to people. Let's be real. Let's be real. So I'm going to need for these people to cut the bullshit. Because Hillary was there, there would have been black men, probably LGBTQ people on the court. Because there's qualified people in all areas that is qualified to sit on that bench. Biden should, extend, he will do that to get around it. There's so much other pressing shit that this administration has to do. Because Donald Trump messed up everything. Not just only domestically, but internationally. Like, we got problems with so many countries because of him. But like, I'm just so sick of this shit. I'm so sick of this shit. I'm so sick of everybody just saying, no. Hillary Clinton would have had people on that court. That court would have been liberal. Not centrist, because she's not a centrist. Like the 18 fucking millionth time. She was actually a progressive. And more progressive than, yes, Bernie Sanders. And that's a fact. I'm just saying. Yes, Dr. C, a huge mess to clean. A huge mess to clean. Now, since I kind of fly by through all my topics, my handwriting is not neat today, so I do apologize for this nasty handwriting. It just looks crazy and looks a mess. So, you know, I write down all my topics, so because if I don't write, I'll forget everything. So now it's time to read, people. So this has been kind of like an interesting day, like a feel-good day. I got some things done. But last night was so funny. Some folks got dragged last night. And one of them was Miss Brianna Joy Gray. So Brianna decided that she wanted to, be a dum-dum and try to outsmart Richie. And I'm just going to read the first tweet that she had towards him. And it was a video saying Richie Torres calling Joe Biden the most progressive president in U.S. history. And then here goes Ray. I mean, we did get Juneteenth, trying to be a smartass. He said, what about ending a 20-year and $2 trillion forever war? Cutting child poverty by 50%, which is true. Advancing a $5 trillion agenda for America. ARB, Build Back Better, BIF. None of these are sufficient progressive for you? And then she said, child poverty shouldn't exist and having it shouldn't be temporary. Climate provisions are being slashed as the world burns. The minimum wage hasn't been raised since 2009. And the infrastructure bills you're bragging advancing aren't final. But good job on Afghanistan. Trying to be a smart ass. And then he said, in your view, Biden is not progressive for failing to abolish childcare poverty overnight. Amid overwhelming obstructionism from the filibuster, the Republican Party, conservative Democrats with veto power. The obstructionist, not Biden, should be blamed for obstruction. That includes that cinema and mansion. And then she said, you introduced a straw man to obscure the intent to which you're begging for pundits. I don't know what, I didn't pronounce the word, but from progressives on Twitter for doing your job. My job is to push you to do better. Your job is to log off and fight for what majorities of Americans want, even if corporate donors disagree. Did he get corporate donors? I don't even know. And then, this is where this sent me. Baby, I encourage you to run for public office and perform all the magic tricks you expect for Biden and others. I have no doubt that you will abolish child poverty and usher in progressive utopia the moment you arrive. Run, Brianna, run. Woo! Now, Briggery. Brie. Why you always play yourself on the internet, girl? Why you keep doing that? Like, you played yourself with so many people. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, you played yourself with many politicians, forgot to name, because it's so many people. It's too many people you can't count on one hand. And even you try to come for yours truly. Many times. You came for me because I put a list out on you. You came for me when Hillary Clinton retweeted me. You came for me when I was featured in an article. I mean, girl, you just keep coming for people and still get motherfucking embarrassed. It so happened a guy from the Bronx, from the projects, the former councilman, now congressman, dragged you and said, run, Bree, run. But I highly doubt that Brianna Gray will run. Because first of all, she will run in Washington, D.C. I mean, you want to be taken seriously because the same lady that's been sitting in the seat as a delegate will beat you. Because nobody don't know who you are. And the last time I checked, there's a lot of African Americans in Washington, D.C. And none of them primarily don't like your ass. So I don't even know if you're going to win. But to Brianna, stop playing yourself. I mean, girl, you're literally like going through some things right now because all you doing is trolling and you still getting motherfucking embarrassed. So I just wish you will find somebody to hold you at night, because that's what I think that's what's missing in your life. You want to go to all these Comic Cons and Star Trek and everything. No, you need somebody to hold your ass at night. You need somebody to hold you in the bed, hold you on your couch somewhere, hold your ass at night, because you're too pressed and wrecked, and you too pretty for that shit. So girl, find somebody on Black or Tinder, wherever you find your person at, and just say you just need to be held at night, and stay the fuck off Twitter. Please and thank you. Like, she can't find, she had a whole segment on, trying to, find somebody and single and no one agrees with your politics, because you're a fucking troll. You're fucking evil. Like, you need somebody to hold your ass at night. You need somebody to dick you down. Like, she haven't had no good dick in a long time. And I shouldn't be talking because I had no dick neither, but damn it, I'm not wrecked and pressed. I'll drag your ass and still go about my life. But her, like, no, she needs some dick. Like, she needs some good dick. She don't need no bro socialist dick. No, she needs some good black man dingo dick for her to shut the fuck up. Me belly. No, she really needs some dick. Like, it's to suck one or to get fucked. She needs some dick. So, that's just my opinion. But, on to the progressives that attack, Colin Powell. I saw many tweets, people saying he was a war criminal, and why are you praising this war criminal? You're a neoliberal corporate shill for him and all of this stuff. Let me just explain something to y'all. Colin Powell, I did not agree with him about 90% of the time in terms of his politics. As a man, I respected him. He served in the military. He was educated through the New York City public school education sector and through the CUNY system. And on top of that, he was just a man who respected his country over his political party. The man voted for Democrats for the last 3 elections because his own party basically threw him under the bus because of the weapons of mass destruction thing, but we all knew it wasn't there. But he was the front man for it, so he got played. And since then, he's been voting for President Obama, Hillary Clinton, and Joe Biden. He did all 3 of that because his party threw him under the goddamn bus. So you can thank George Walker Bush, Richard Bruce Cheney, and Donald Rumsfeld for throwing that man under the bus. Anybody that you need to call war criminals is those 3 men. Don't come for that black man, because he did what they told him to do. He's a Secretary of State. He had no authority to call that. He did what his president told him to do, his boss. And the Secretary of Defense, if y'all want to call anybody a war criminal, you also need to come at the Secretary of Defense at the time, Donald Rumsfeld. Because he was the Secretary of Defense. That was his ass. Not Colin Powell. So please cut the shit. And if you got a problem, like I said, scroll on by. If it's not for you, then don't comment. And that also goes for the white moderates. So, this guy named David had the audacity to come for the kid. So I'm trying to find it right here. So, y'all know I did a video about Colin Powell and how people try to smear him, call him a war criminal and this and that. So David in Chicago said, wait a minute. I am a liberal, left, Democrat, and I have great admiration for General Powell. Have you considered that perhaps is it racist to paint an entire race of people, whites, to automatically be anti-General Powell? Check your own racism and biases at the door, please. David of Chicago. I can't be racist. I can be prejudiced. Because my people were not oppressors. So that's one. Two, there's no such thing as reverse racism. I never heard of that before. I don't even know what that means. And three, my video was not for you. I did not paint all white people as anti-Colin Powell. No, I didn't. I said progressive men who are smearing Colin Powell as a war criminal need to have that smoke for Bush, Cheney, and Rumsfeld. You missed the whole point of my video. But I would like to say this to David. What you said, you got your ass handed to. You had over I think 100 comments basically smearing the fuck out of you because you try to be smart and try to corner me and thought you were going to get clicks and likes. You only got 6 likes out of that fucking tweet. Because why? Because that tweet was filled with misogyny and racism. So I want David to check his own misogyny and his own racism before he comes for you know who, me. And that goes for James. To say that I never said that that my videos are not painting everybody with a broad brush. Let me tell you something, James. Your old crinkly ass who follow Jamie D, or as the great Dr. C say, you know, Miss Millie from Montana, and Bob, ashy ass, creepy ass Bob, follow them knuckleheads. Let me tell you something, James. My video was not for you. And yes, I say it over and over. If my message don't apply to you, then let it fly over your goddamn head. And that includes you, James. Because my message was not meant for you. It's not meant for you, and it was not for you, and it will not be for you or by you. Whatever way you want to put it, I said it. So, James, I'm going to need for you, sir. If you don't like something that I post, then let it fly. Scroll on by. Mute me, block me, whatever you want to do to keep your sanity. Because the more you comment on stuff like mine, the more I'm going to drag you and call you out until you block me. You think that you're the biggest troll? You're talking to a troll. I don't like to troll people, but if you come for me, I'm going to send for you 10 times harder. And I know it gets some people mad, but I don't play that shit. You're not going to come for me and thinking it's going to rest. I don't play that shit. I don't let shit die. I keep shit going unless you want to stop. So please, for the love of God, stop. And two, just white moderate men. Like, I keep addressing this because white moderate men have been in my mentions for the last 2 weeks. Let me tell y'all something. If I have a post and a message criticizing some folks and not everybody, then let it fly over your goddamn head. I said what I said about folks because they need to get dragged. Don't be mad because I call out a small cluster of you folks. If you're so bothered, maybe you need to check your own self before you slide in my mentions. Because you don't want none of that smoke. Because trust me, I will give it to you. I will sock it to you in words. So please, do yourself a favor and stay the hell out of my mentions and let stuff fly over your head. Point blank, period. Yes, they're going to learn today. They're going to learn today. But I'm getting off this because it's 12:11. I think I've been on here for probably 50 minutes. It was good to see y'all. You can watch this replay on Instagram. I will put this video on YouTube and some clips on Twitter for those who couldn't watch. So until then, I see you next Friday. And those on Spaces, I'm on Spaces on Wednesdays around 8 o'clock-ish. And for Dr. C, subscribe to her Patreon and follow her on Twitter. Twitter, and also subscribe to her YouTube channel to increase her YouTubers. And also support Kenny. I think he's at an event this weekend, I think. I'm not quite as sure which day it is. But until then, folks, you have a wonderful and blessed night.